What's up, guys? This is Storm, and welcome to another Gaming News Week. We have a lot to cover for this week, so without further ado, let's get on with the news. During the recent State of Play, PlayStation has showcased they're making their very own fight stick called the Flex Strike that'll be available in 2026. They had a trailer that's showing that you'll be able to use this flight stick on your PS5 or PC, and it was very advertising to be used for their next Marvel fighting game, Marvel Token Fighting Soul. So a lot of people are wondering what will be the price of this, because especially you could play this wirelessly or being connected to the system. They show us some stuff that you could do, like remapping certain button layout and stuff. Overall, the design does look pretty cool, and does look. I saw some people say it kind of looks small, but going off by the picture, it kind of looked pretty big in my opinion. I don't know if currently people could use this thing at Evo. It would be very interesting if they could. But as of right now, there's no price for the flight stick, and we probably won't see the price of it till it gets close to when it eventually come out. Most likely, if I were to guess, probably like early or mid of 2026. Because I have a feeling they gonna launch this around the same time with the new Marvel fighting game drops, since that is the advertising push for it right now. Staying on top of PlayStation, recently they have been facing some backlash over a job listing that showcased PlayStation looking for somebody to able to bring their games to other platforms, including PC, Nintendo, and even Xbox, which have a lot of people in the PlayStation fan base pretty upset over this. And funny enough, PlayStation actually responded to the whole backlash situation. They put out a statement saying Sony responds to the backlash over multi-platform expansion job posting. While we continue to explore new ways to grow and evolve the gaming ecosystem, we are committed to preserving the unique identity that PlayStation represents. As we have in the past, we will always listen to feedback from our community, including valued players like you, and ensure our decisions are aligned with the experience you expect from PlayStation. Now, what could this mean? People are trying to figure out why would PlayStation do this, especially they're in a better position compared to Xbox, and don't really see a need to put their games everywhere, thus making them a third-party publisher. And it mostly just comes to me. I think it just mostly comes down to the higher ups just looking for money at this point. What is the best way to make money for them? And that is putting their games everywhere. It is unfortunate. We don't know what is gonna happen. Like, people are mad right now. Like, this whole thing started off with the whole Helldivers 2 coming to the Xbox, which I believe Helldivers is a PlayStation owned IP, but they don't own the developers. So I personally not really upset about it. The only thing it bugs me is two things. PlayStation would say one thing and do something else. They don't have like a clear communication what they're doing when it comes to their business, and that would keep getting their fans angry like this. The other thing is, it just could be annoying on social media when I'm doing like gaming research and I just see back and forth with all this stuff. Me personally, that's the only thing that's gonna bug me. Am I still gonna be playing the games on my preferred platform? Yeah. But it just could be the conversation and just could be annoying. Like, This day and age, we can't even have a proper gaming conversation without somebody in their feelings about such and such. So, I guess until we see what happens with this, it could. We don't know to what extent this could be. Like, some people believe like Spider-Man, God of War, or The Last of Us is gonna be on Xbox, and some people probably think it's gonna be like old IPs like PlayStation putting Everybody Golf on Nintendo and stuff, which they licensed it to Bandai Namco to publish it. So it's a Sony owned IP, but they're not the publishers of it. So I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens. Some people think this whole thing just being blown out of proportion, but I don't know. I honestly don't have no horse in this race. The PlayStation Plus games for the month of August, we are getting Lies of P, DayZ, and My Hero 1 Justice 2. If you are a fan of Souls games, you got Lies of P, which I heard is a very, very fun Souls game, honestly. And not too long ago, it came out with a DLC. So if you was planning on getting Lies of P, and for some reason you just didn't get it, here's your chance. And now you only would just have to need to pay is the DLC. And if you're a fan of Survivors and you got a couple of friends that wants to play, you got DayZ. And you're a fan of anime fighters and the anime show of My Hero Academia, you got My Hero Justice 2. Currently going on right now, PlayStation is having an event in China that people get to try out some of their games that evolve with the China Hero Project and other games that they have partnered with. Games like Phantom Blade Zero, Lost Soul Aside, Silent Hill F, and a couple of number of games. And they announced the next phase for the China Hero Project from PlayStation, where they announced 2 games that's be able to play at the event. We got Exile Edge is a third-person shooter. Daba Land of Water Scar is an action game. They're expected to be PS5 console exclusive. Sony also announced a partnership with Virtuos, the maker of Metal Gear Solid Delta. And it's really cool to see Sony's branching out to other regions and stuff to try to get the developers of those regions to be showing off what they got going on in a broader range of audience, which is all very nice to see. I'm hoping it keeps going. And they also partnership with Rich Tap. Don't know what kind of work have they done, but cool nonetheless. So PlayStation is now entering phase 4 of the China Hero Project. So I'm curious what games that they're gonna build up in this phase. There's some that we know about that still haven't got released yet, and now we're gonna get more that's gonna be coming soon. And a cool thing that they showed during the event, they did drop a new trailer for Lost Soul Aside showcasing the weapons and a couple of gameplays from a Pacific boss fight. And speaking of Lost Soul Aside, there are some discussions that's going on about it. Like, some people fear that it might not be the best it could be, because I saw somebody said, like, when you're attacking enemy, if they're not reacting to the hits and stuff, and people are showing like boss fights and stuff. Like, and I looked at gameplay, enemies are reactive to your hits. It just, you're in a boss fight. A boss fight not gonna react to your hit until you drop their I'm just gonna call it their posture gauge. Like, there's a separate bar under the boss health that goes down over time when you parry them or do enough damage. Once that go down, they could flinch whenever you hit them and stuff. So it's like, I personally don't get it, but anyway, here's the trailer from Lost Suicide.
Let me be your vengeance. The blade in your hand.
PlayStation.
Instant day one buy. I already got a pre-order and I can't wait to play it on the end of this month. We're in August and then we getting a lot of good games coming for the rest of the year. So that's what we got from the China Hero event that's going on right now. I'll post links in the description in case you want to see some gameplay of people playing on the show floor. IGN India put up like a 22 something minute for Phantom Play 0. I believe they have gameplay for Pragmata going on right now. And I'll try to see if I could get find gameplay of the other games that's at the China Hero project that's currently at the event. So stay tuned for more of that. Nintendo had a third partner showcase at their Nintendo Direct. Basically, it shows third-party partners show off what games that they have that's coming to the Nintendo Switch or the Nintendo Switch 2. And these are the lists of the games. They have Monster Hunter Story 3 Twisted Reflection that is set to come out in 2026, coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 and other platforms. Just Dance 2026 editions coming out October 14. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero that's coming out on the Switch and the Switch 2 coming out November 14. Plants vs. Zombies October 23rd. EA Sports FC 26 coming out September 26th. Pac-Man World 2 Remake set to come out September 26th. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Invalis Chronicles coming out September 30th. It will be released on the Switch and the Switch 2. Persona 3 Reloaded October 23rd. Zelda Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. No release date, but it's only going to be available on the Switch 2. Madden NFL 26 coming to the Switch 2 August 14. Chilling by the Fire. No, it got shadow dropped the day of Direct. It's on the Switch 2. Apex Legends coming out August 5th. Hella releasing in 2026 on the Switch 2. Star Wars Outlaws September 4th. Chronos The New Dawn September 5th. Switch 2 exclusive. Yakuza Kiwami 2 coming to the Switch 2 on November 13th. The Adventures of Elliot the Millennium Tales Switch 2, no set release date. Octopath Traveler 0 December 4th. And those were the games that would show off during the Nintendo Switch Direct. And people, there are mixed feelings about the Direct. Some people believe like there was nothing really worthwhile showing off. That could have been like a, hey, this is a tweet, this is coming such and such out. Like some people believe that, and others are excited for the games that they shown off and stuff. But a lot of people are upset about the whole games not being on the cartridge. This had been like a ongoing thing since the Switch 2 was announced, because basically there's nothing on the game cartridge itself, and it just fuels the idea that we are going into a digital only market instead of like basically the death of physical media, which some people is strongly against. They want to preserve physical games. And there's two arguments, like some people say they don't see what's wrong with the game not fully being on the cartridge, and some say they don't like the idea. And some even point out that some of the games that were shown off at this third party event, the whole game could be on the cartridge. They just confuse why that's the case. But I digress. I have no say when it comes to Nintendo decisions, because I'm not a customer for the Nintendo platform. Like, people would say I'm probably a potential customer, but I'm not a customer overall. Like, I don't really play Nintendo games or look forward to their games and stuff. So I'm basically not the target market for them. And not like I don't like Nintendo games. I'm just like, I would never disrespect Pokemon or Mario game, because those are established IPs for the Nintendo platform. It just means personally they would not be my games of choice to play. But that's neither here or there. This comes from Genki. Sony is suing Tencent for allegedly ripping off the Horizon video games. Sony said Tencent Light of Mortarin features identical gameplay, story, themes, and artistic elements to Horizon, as well as many other similarities. We have spoken about this game before in a video a while back when Tencent first revealed this game. But I guess now more stuff was shown off about the game, like pictures, images, and stuff. And Sony is now taking them to court for ripping off Horizon, because literally same type of mechanical creatures. The main character does look like Aloy, and the whole environment itself is pretty much one for one of Horizon Zero Dawn. And it turns out in court papers, Tencent asked Sony if they could work together on a project involved with the Horizon Zero Dawn, but Sony turned them down. So it looks like because Sony turned them down, they decided to make their own version of Horizon Zero Dawn, which is not a smart thing to do, honestly, because like Sony does have grounds to sue for basically ripping off, making a copy of their game, and they own the Horizon IP and stuff. So we don't know what could happen to Tencent and stuff. I guess we just got waiting to see the outcome of this. But funny thing is, in the court papers, Sony revealed that the Horizon series have sold almost 40 million. So it goes to show all the people that were saying that the Horizon series are boring and this, that, and the third, basically not really messing with the Horizon series in general. It shows that, hey, people bought it. It sold almost 40 million copies as a series. They have 2 games of VR, and they have 2 games of VR and a Lego type of game, and it's only available on PlayStation and PC. But I don't think PC players like the Horizon series like that. So I would say the split between PlayStation and PC users for that game, I would kind of say it's probably like probably 70-30. 70 PlayStation users, 30% PC, or at least 60-40, like a 60-40 split. But yeah, good. It's nice to see the Horizon series is doing well, and it kind of makes sense now Sony has been pushing this IP, because I don't think when Guerrilla Games was still doing the Killzone series, I don't think Killzone was making sales like that. Like I don't think the series as a whole sold like that. So go to show a studio could make a new IP and make it do great out the gate. Hollow Knight Silk Song, that a lot of people have been waiting for, will be available as a public demo at Gamescom at the Xbox booth, and the game is set to release sometime before the end of 2025. A lot of people have been asking for this game, hoping that it would make an appearance at some type of event, and they showed off a small teaser of it. I believe it was at the Xbox Showcase or Summer Game Fest, one of those two, and it is said that the game was going to come out before the end of 2025. And now Jeff Keighley announcing the date for Gamescom, and it will be available to play at the Xbox booth. So if anybody is going to Gamescom and is a fan of Hollow Knight, there you go, you'll be able to try out the demo there. Going back to Nintendo, apparently Nintendo is announcing that the Nintendo Switch 1 pricing for their system is going up. The new price for the Nintendo Switch is $400 for the OLED Switch. The standard Switch is going to $340 now. The Switch Lite is going to $230 now. The Switch OLED, it was $350, now it's $400. The standard Switch was $300, now it's $340. And the Switch Lite was $200, now it's $230. Also, Alarmo is going from $100 to $110. And Joy-Con 2 controllers going from $95 to $100. But you don't have to worry. The Switch 2, bless me. The Switch 2, the Switch 1 games, Switch 2, Switch 1, and Switch 2 games and the Nintendo Online membership, the prices are still the same. There are no price increases for those. The price only affecting the Switch, the first Switch system, which is kind of crazy because the Switch 1 came out since 2017 and is getting a price increase, which is outrageous in my opinion for an 8-year-old system. But hey, it is what it is. Nintendo didn't say the reason for it, which funny enough a lot of people assume is because of the Trump tariffs and stuff. So as the time of this recording, which is August 3rd, that would today will be when the price change go into effect. Originally, Target was the one who showed all the prices, but quickly reverted. Most likely, they show it off too early. So it turns out that to be the case. Target just showed off the price too early. They reverted back to how it was, but now is most likely they put it back at the price that was originally shown off in their leak. It's unfortunate in this day and age. We hardly get any system drop in price and stuff. But at this point, what can you do? Honestly, what can you do? This comes from Okami. It appears that Gears of War E-Day and State of Decay 3 are reportedly in development for the PS5. We haven't gotten any confirmation of Gears of War E-Day is coming to the PlayStation. When it first got revealed, it only showed Xbox and PC and Game Pass. If you don't know what Gears of War E-Day, it basically is the prologue to the whole Gears of War franchise. Like basically how all of it started with the whole war with the Locusts. And State of Decay 3 is a survival zombie type of game that you build resources, go out into the wild, and basically make a whole community of survivors and stuff. State of Decay 2 introduced multiplayer co-op with friends, so we don't know for sure. Will State of Decay 3 will have that also, but most likely it will. I don't believe we have seen an update for that in a while, so we don't know the situation that's going on with that. But I'm not surprised if it turns out to be true that these games are being developed for the PS5. Is pretty much how Microsoft been moving lately. So honestly, there's that. Of course, we just gotta wait and see how it plays out in the end when these games come out. Some people say maybe 2026, but like I said, we'll see. EA had a special event showcasing the multiplayer for Battlefield 6, and they invited a couple of streamers to be able to show off gameplay and get their hands-on experience with a more developed Battlefield 6. The game is set to release on, I believe it's October 10th. And they also announced there will be an open beta. So you get early access on 7/8. Open beta starts on August 9 and 10. And also on the 14th to the 17th, which is very nice. They also have different rewards that you could get in the open beta. From weekend 1 and weekend 2. You got tank skins and all that jazz. They'll be launching with 9 maps: Liberation Peak, Manhattan Bridge, Siege of Cairo, Empire State, Iberian Offense, Saints Quarter, No Sobek, Firestorm, which I believe is a returning map. And they also have the deluxe edition. For Phantom Edition includes a whole bunch of skins and battle pass. You'll be able to play the beta on EA App, Steam, Epic Games Store, PS5, and the Xbox Series X and S. And the game modes All Out War, Conquest, Breakthrough, Rush, and Escalation, which is all very nice to see. People are happy that Battfield look like it's returning to form. And I personally like it because it will definitely give Call of Duty competition. Because Call of Duty been running rampant ever since the not so good reputation of Battlefield 2042. So hopefully Battlefield 6 will put them in the good graces of the players. Because for what I've seen from the live stream, people are definitely loving the game. I'm definitely going to play the open beta when it comes out. And if I like what I play, I'm definitely going to pre-order it. What else they showed? Okay. Oh, and they also teased that Battlefield 6 will have a free Battle Royale game mode. So people who like the Battle Royale games, there you go. Overall, they showed a lot of good stuff for Battlefield 6. But you gotta remember, we are seeing trailers, and if you want to check out a couple of streams, there are a couple of streamers that went to the event, got to have hands-on play with the game. There are a couple of videos on YouTube right now, so you can check them out. And they said to receive early access, if you want, you just have to go on Twitch and look at those streamers' games to get access to the game. So there's that, which is very nice, very nice. And I can't wait to see what Battlefield 6 got cooking first when it launches on October 10th. We are going to end this video off talking about THQ Nordic. They had a smaller video showcasing some upcoming titles that they have working on. And one of the titles I definitely been looking forward to is DarkSiders 4. If you have never played DarkSiders, here's a little quick rundown. You play as this character whose name is War, who's one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Heaven and Hell have their disagreement with the Charter Council, who is basically the rulers of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. If any war that breaks on heaven and earth, which followed by the breaking of the seals that protects earth, once the 7th seal is broken, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse will rise to set the balance right. But unfortunately, war arrived before the 7th seal was broken, thus causing the annihilation of the human race and earth falling to basically the apocalypse. Being blamed for the eradication of the human race, War was imprisoned and being held captive by the Charter Council to do their bidding. You go on the adventure as War, doing the deeds of the Charter Council, when you discover that it was all a ploy. And it turns out that the Charter Council was working against War to betray him, and eventually revealing that, yeah, everything that War said was true. In the final battle, War had with a angel that turned into a demon, causing the break of the 7th seal, thus resulting the other horsemen of the apocalypse to come to War aid to start a war with the Charter Council. That is followed by DarkSiders 2. DarkSiders 2 takes place basically following the same story path of DarkSiders 1. DarkSiders 2, you play as the older brother of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, Death. Him discovering that War is being held prisoner by the Charter Council for being blamed for the eradication of the human race. Death sought out the Crow, basically the Crow King or the Crow Elder, to find a way to bring back humanity to clear War's name. And it sets off this whole journey with Death discovering the truth on War imprisonment and who is to blame. You discover that Lilith, who claims to be the horseman's mother, and their race Nephilims, I believe that's what they're called. Basically, it turns out she has a hand in this, but we don't know the extent of what she's involved with and who is Lilith is working for. At the end, Death is given a choice. He has either the power to bring back his people, the Nephilims, or bring back the human race and clear War's name. He chose to bring back the human race to clear his brother's name. Thus was the end for DarkSiders 2. DarkSiders 3, you take on the role as the sister Fury of the Horsemen, and she basically wants to become the leader of the Horsemen. She does the Charred Council deeds, wiping out the 7 deadly sins. But it turns out the Charred Council set her up. The Charred Council was hoping that the 7 deadly sins and the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse will wipe each other out. Once Fury discovered what the Charred Council was planning, she took the surviving human race to a new realm for protection from the Charred Council, thus joining War and the other Horsemen in the battle against the Charred Council. Unfortunately, I did not play the one that had Strife in it, DarkSiders Genesis, I think it was called. Unfortunately, I didn't really get to play that, so I don't really know the story behind that one. But he's basically the other brother of the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. You got War, who uses a sword, Death, who uses a scythe, Fury uses a whip, and Strife uses a gun. But now, in DarkSiders 4, it's going to take place after the first game, when War breaks the seal, calling upon his siblings for the battle against the Charred Council. And here is that trailer.
You will be hunted. The White City for certain. The Council. And there will be others. You would wage this war alone?
No. Not alone.
Yeah, I'm excited for DarkSiders 4. I truly like the story of what's going on. Like, the story is like really good, and the gameplay is pretty fun. My favorite one is DarkSiders 2 because freaking Death was a boss in that game. And it gives me a little bit of hope for DarkSiders 4 because if you go to the PlayStation Store, which you could now wishlist now at different storefronts, like on PC and Xbox, on the description for the PlayStation Store, it does show a 4-player online co-op option. So, it gives me hope that the game will be 4 players and you and 3 other friends will be able to play as the other characters of the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And hopefully the gameplay is exactly how DarkSiders 1, 2, and 3 is, but now it's just 4-player co-op online. And if that's the case, then I'm going to be playing as my dude Death because he was also with the dual scythe combat. Oh man. It gives me hope what can this game turn out to be. I'm hoping it does turn out good. And the fact it's able to be wishlisted right now kind of gives me belief that the game could potentially come out sometime maybe next year, mid to fall next year is a strong possibility. But we just gotta wait and see, since this is the second trailer we got for DarkSiders 4. And we definitely need to see some gameplay on the game. Once we get that gameplay and it's exactly what I'm hoping it's going to be, is gonna be a pre-order right then and there. That's literally all I need. Just show me the gameplay, how it truly is, like what I expect it to be. The story is fire, and you got a sale from me. That's all I need. Well, and that's the end of the video. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited for DarkSiders 4? Are you upset that PlayStation may be going third party? Are you going to be getting that fight stick from PlayStation to try out the next Marvel fighting game? Are you excited for Gears of War E-Day or State of Decay 3 coming to PlayStation? Let me know in the comments below. Until the next video, this is Storm, and I'll catch you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your week, and peace out.